Hey everyone,
Hey.
welcome to the White Hatter Not Live show.
Yeah, this is the first one because we're going to be traveling on Sunday to go to a contract where we're down in Washington State. We decided to do a recording, and this is our first one.
Yeah, this is going to be our first pre-recorded show, which is the nature of doing it every week.
Yeah.
But we have a really special show planned this time.
How so? How so? Why is it going to be special?
We're going to go over our trips over the last year.
Oh, all right.
For those of you who follow us on social media, we love posting pictures, capturing the media on places we've gone.
For sure.
And what we're going to do today is kind of go over some of the highlights.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
Which I think would be kind of cool.
Been to a lot of places, and we've captured lots of pictures, and you kind of daisy picked the ones that we're going to use in today's presentation.
Yeah,
right?
So I'm kind of go through and kind of what we're going to talk about and look back on sort of what we've done over the last year.
Let's go for it. What do you got up? What do you got up first?
This one. This is interesting. So this one was from Edmonton. This is one of our first trips this year, actually.
Yeah, it was.
And we were driving to a school, and we drove past. You know more about planes than I do.
Yeah, it's a starfighter, and it's one of the first jets that Canada used that was jet-propelled fighters. Kind of cool.
Yeah, so we were driving by. We were going to pick up I believe we were picking up food or water or something.
When aren't we picking up food with you?
And
right, really, when you think about it.
And so we saw this going out of the grocery store, and we were like, "This is kind of cool. Let's get a picture of this." And then I thought, you know what? Sure, let's have fun with it.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a cool one, right? The angle kind of looks like you're being buzzed by this thing. I know. Pretty impressive, right? Pretty impressive.
It's amazing the things we get to see when we travel.
And it's kind of like in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, it was just a town in the middle of nowhere as we were traveling in where were we again? In Edmonton, right?
Edmonton.
Traveling and doing our things in Edmonton. So kind of cool. Kind of cool for sure.
Kind of cool. And on the same trip.
Yeah, on the same trip.
I thought this was hilarious.
Yeah.
So we rented a
SUV.
An SUV.
Yeah, it was an SUV.
And I realized halfway through the trip that there were these two screens on the back.
Yeah, very quickly you noticed that there were two screens on the back of the headrests inside the SUV. So you came up with this brilliant idea, as you like to call it, to see if you could create a tri-screen effect using your laptop so that as I'm driving to wherever it is we're going, you can sit in the back seat and do work using three screens. And I said, no way, you ain't going to be able to make that happen. Well, guess what? You made it work.
I know, it was fantastic.
I mean, and this is a really good example in this picture. Here you are sitting in the back. So I'm taking this from the rear. I opened up the hatch in the back and took a picture of you using your tri-screen. I mean, you were in heaven.
Yeah, I know. I kind of mirrored my desk here at the office. I was like, well, you know what? To be productive, now to be fair, the screens were very low resolution, but I mean, hey, it was kind of cool.
Yeah, you were in your glory though. Yeah. Let's be honest, you were in your glory for sure because you were able to do something. I thought there's no way you're going to make this happen, but as soon as you saw them, and then you also saw the imports to import the sound and the video all in the seats built right in, right? And we bring all our own cords with us whenever we're traveling, so you were plugging everything in and boof, within a matter of minutes you had this thing going.
I just happened to have all the dongles I needed.
You gotta wonder what people were thinking as they were driving by seeing that going on, right? Like, really? Kind of thing?
It's kind of cool.
Yeah, kind of cool, for sure.
This one's really cool for this year.
Yeah.
We on the cars we take with us when we're driving locally, we got some custom plates.
Yeah, what's kind of cool about this is we each have a Ford Explorer, right?
Yeah.
And they're same color, identical car. So we decided with our branding to get personalized plates that says the White Hatter on it, right? So my car, the car that I use TWH1, and yours is?
TWH2, and I think that's the next.
Yeah, TWH2. There it is, right there. Yeah. And it's kind of cool because when we're driving to the same place and we're driving together, we kind of look like the president. Yeah, convoy. Yeah. Like the president of the United States is being escorted, or the Prime Minister of Canada is being escorted someplace, right? For sure. But I mean, it's a really cool way to brand what it is that we're doing and identify who we are. So really kind of cool, and it really kind of makes the car stand out. Actually, it makes them pop, I think.
It was really cool because we were up in Duncan one time, and we we both stopped. We were both in Dunkin' working, and we stopped to get a bite to eat at a restaurant.
Oh, that's right. I remember that.
And we happened to park beside each other.
Yeah.
So you have these two explorers, identical explorers with.
Mine's newer though.
His is newer.
Faster.
With very similar plates.
Yeah.
And we had someone come out of the restaurant and go, what does TWH mean?
It was actually pretty funny because they weren't the only people that stopped and looked at it, right? There were a couple as we were sitting and eating. You could see people kind of looking at it going, what's going on here? Is there somebody special here in the restaurant that we need to know? Kind of funny though, right? So
those are really cool.
Yeah, it was. So what's the next one we got?
This one, I like this picture.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure this one out. Like, what's with the face?
Well, I took this picture because this was at a gym at what was it?
Halls Prairie
Elementary, and I saw this mural in the gym, and something caught my attention. So it's in the top there, right? Like, do you see in the top there?
Oh, that's an old like iMac.
It's an old iMac, and you see there's like an iPod Touch.
Oh yeah.
No, not Touch, just an old iPod.
That's just an old iPod. Yeah.
Anyway, so I thought it was kind of cool.
That was actually a picture?
That was a mural someone had painted.
Actually, at first, when I first looked at that picture, I actually thought it was actually a cabinet, a real cabinet.
Oh no,
But it's not, right?
It's a mural in a gym.
Oh, pretty cool.
Fantastic.
So in the gym, you can see all the gym stuff, but soccer ball and that kind of stuff. But they have a picture of an iMac and iPods and books. Oh, kind of cool. Yeah.
It was kind of cool because I was thinking to myself, okay, for the person who painted this, were they thinking it's kind of like a snapshot in history?
Yeah, good point. Yeah, good point. Good point. Because that definitely is a snapshot in history with the old iMac like on there, right? For sure. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Now, what's the next one we got?
Our trip to Prince George.
Oh, it was cold.
This year, yeah.
It was cold up there. Yeah, for
I
sure.
just took this picture to kind of highlight the coldness.
Yeah, the coldness. You can see the snow. Kind of a cool mural, though, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's what's one of the really cool things about British Columbia that we don't really see elsewhere is that a number of small cities actually have murals on a lot of their buildings. We like here on Vancouver Island, we have the famous Cheminas is a good example. And then when we were up in Prince George, we saw this one. It was a pretty cool picture. I mean, pretty artistic if you look at it. It kind of captures the essence of British Columbia, right? The outdoors, the eagles, the ocean, the salmon, the orcas, the BC flag, all those kind of things, right? Yeah, kind of cool.
Oh, that was kind of cool.
Yeah, it was. It was kind of cool.
The things we see in our travels.
Yeah.
And then on the same trip to Prince George, it was very cold.
It was.
This was during the winter.
Yeah.
And
no, really? There's snow. This probably is winter.
It was
it's
in
not gonna be the
January.
summer.
It was in January.
Oh, geez.
And it was so cold that you could see your breath.
Yeah, so when we got to the airport, I said to Brandon, hey, just to show how cold it is here, why don't we just stand outside the rental car and kind of blow our breath in the air just to see what happens? And as soon as we did that, it kind of you can see it there, right?
I wanted to play with slow-mo.
Yeah, slow-mo's kind of cool. One of our aunts said, it looks like you're making a fish face.
I know it does.
It does, dude. It does. That's kind of
cool.
thing. Yeah, kind of cool for sure. Definitely cold though.
Very cold.
It was cold.
Oh,
Something we're not used to here in Victoria. No. For sure, even though they're British Columbia like we are, they're north central British Columbia. We're on the west coast of British Columbia, right? So
much warmer.
It's very rare that we get below into the minus numbers here, right? But I think it was like minus 23 or something like it was one of the coldest.
Like that.
It was one of the coldest sessions that they've ever had for sure. So,
and to be fair, we've been to colder places, which I think we'll probably talk about here in a bit.
For sure. Yeah, for sure.
Oh, also this year, we got the Medal of Good Citizenship.
Yeah, we did.
Well, it was last year that we were awarded it,
right?
But we got the medals.
That's right. They announced the winners last year, and then they had the award ceremony this year, right? And unfortunately, Beth and I were out of town at the time, but you went and accepted the medals on our behalf because it was you, Beth, and I, the three of us, that got the medal. In fact, I wear the medal, one of the pins of the medal right here on my shirt, right? Because it's where I kind of keep that kind of stuff on my white hatter outfit, as I like to call it.
Yeah. So that was at the BC legislature.
Quite the honor.
Oh yeah, very much so.
How was the what did it look like in the inside? Pretty snappy.
Pretty snappy. What you would expect from British Columbia.
Yeah, for sure. How many people were there receiving the award at that time?
How many people? There was about maybe 8, 10-ish.
Yeah.
I can't remember the exact numbers, but there were a few.
Yeah, and again, we were awarded this medal for the work that we do with youth here in the province, if not right across Canada and the U.S. The work that we do in the area of internet and social media safety and digital literacy, right? And first company who specialized in this area ever to be awarded that award.
Yeah.
Kind of cool. kind of proud, kind of honored. I'm really honored, actually, that we received that award. So what else we got going on?
Speaking of cold, one of our other trips, this was in
Carpenter
Saskatchewan.
High, Saskatchewan.
Saskatchewan. So, I mean,
Saskatchewan.
this year was one of the first years where we really started to get to other provinces.
Yeah.
Which is fantastic.
Yeah.
So we were very fortunate to have an opportunity to go to Saskatchewan to present.
So what does this picture show?
I took this picture to highlight just how cold it was.
How cold was it?
-30.
Really? How do you know that?
It's right there on the car dash.
Oh, yeah. Look at that. Up in the upper left-hand corner there, it says -30.
-30.
Like, it was cold. It was definitely cold.
Very cold.
Right? And in fact, I think we're going to prove to you how cold it was with a little video we're going to show here in a little bit, right? So, but while we were up there as well, like, up in Carpenter High in Saskatchewan, we also met a young man, right?
Yeah, I mean, we get to see some fantastic, talented individuals when we go to schools across Canada.
Yeah, and we love celebrating youth who are doing really cool things.
We certainly do. And this was one young man who was really doing great things. And I just want to show this video. You may have seen this video if you follow us on Facebook and Instagram, but just to show it again.
Now, what's important about this video for everybody to know is that this young man has never taken piano lessons, ever. He doesn't read music. He's never taken piano lessons. What you're listening to is all self-taught. Is that not amazing or what? Just
great talent.
Absolutely. And you know what? We learned that, again, this young man, when he comes to school, this is what he loves doing. He loves going to the piano, and this is how we learned, right? He all learned by hearing, and that's how he learned to teach himself. Again, never knew how to play piano, can't read music. And then we learned that he loved piano so much, that's why he loves coming to school, but he didn't have a piano at home.
I know.
He had no piano at home to practice on. So what do?
Well, we reached out to social media.
We did. We reached out to all our followers in social media to say, hey, is there anybody out there that would like to maybe help us get a piano donated to this young man? And guess what? Our followers did not disappoint us.
They did not.
We had a follower in Vancouver who saw our reach out on social media who said, hey, listen, I have this piano that I would love to dedicate if we can get it to him. So guess what? We connected with the school. We asked the school if they could pay for the shipping to have this piano moved from Vancouver to where they were up in Carpenter High up in Saskatchewan. And the school came through in flying colors. So we were able to deliver this piano from Vancouver to Saskatchewan for this young man, northern Saskatchewan, and he's so grateful, right? Like the message that we got back from the school and him, just unbelievable, right? Just unbelievable experience to be able to help him further his enjoyment in something that really makes him and the school happy. Because they say that when he's playing on that piano at school, kids just everybody else in school just
and we saw that.
We did.
We saw they're not in the video, but around the video from the frame, there were people around watching, and I mean that is a fantastic talent. It just goes to show the power of social media.
Yeah, and the power of music. And the power of music. But the power of social media, how we were able to reach out to our followers to get a piano donated and delivered, right, via courier to northern Saskatchewan. Who would have known?
It's one of those stories, right?
Yeah, really kind of cool. Yeah. Really kind of cool. What's the next picture we got?
So it was really cold in Saskatchewan.
Yeah.
Right? So at the time, being winter, there were tons of people on social media showing how cold it was by tossing water in the air and watching it freeze.
Not just water, but hot water.
Hot water, and then freezing and turning to smoke. And I actually did one of these.
And this is in Meadow Lake,
This is in Meadow Lake,
because we went to a variety of different places. We were kind of like on a week road trip in and around this area. And so this was in Meadow Lake, where it was like -35, -40. It was just unbelievable, right? And we shot this video.
Yeah, again, I wanted to play with slow-mo.
Yeah. And these are 2 cups of hot water.
Yeah.
Like hot water.
Yeah. And you can see, you toss it, and it instantly turns to like a vapor.
Ice. Like ice, right? That's what happened. It just freezes.
I know.
Right?
It was cold.
It was really cold.
We're not used to that cold, but it was cold.
No, we weren't. And what's interesting, you can still see it floating around. It looks like a cloud right down there, right? But what's really interesting is when you were driving around and walking around in that area, we couldn't walk outside too long because your face would get frozen. But you could actually see the ice particulates in the air. Remember that?
It was shiny.
It was like shiny. It was like diamonds in the air everywhere. It was bizarre, right?
Yeah.
And very dry. It's like you see all this snow, you think, really? But it was really dry. Like the snow was crunchy.
It was crunchy.
It was
We're not used to.
crunchy.
We're used to wet, slippery, mushy snow.
Ice. This stuff was like dry and crunchy, but pretty cool video that you shot there for sure. And then on our way back from Meadow Lake, heading back to the airport,
we met the Autobots.
And we have Optimus Prime, and I think that's Bumblebee. Bumblebee there, right?
So this was this is a funny story actually. In that we were driving back, so we had a rental car. We were going to the airport, and what happened is we needed to fill gas before we took the car back.
Yep.
So we're driving along, trying to find a place to go fill up. First gas station turned out to be one of those giant card locks with only for semi trucks.
Yep.
So we're like, well, we can't fill up here. So we went on this back road to go to a different gas station, and we drove by this metal recycling plant.
Yeah.
And they had these fantastic pieces of artwork in front. And we thought, you know what, we gotta get a picture of this.
Yeah, and not only did they have the Autobots, but to the left of that picture that you don't see, they had a big Tyrannosaurus Rex. Remember
That's right. I didn't pull that picture. But yeah, there was also a giant,
And it's
T-Rex.
all made out of car parts, right? That they because it's a salvage place, and they build these things, right? It's just phenomenal.
I think it's great. They look amazing.
And I mean, this is another kind of cool way to kind of say sometimes taking the side roads or off the beaten path, you can see some things that you would never have seen before. Like if it wasn't for us going along that isolated road, we would never have found this. We would not have found this picture, and it was just so really cool to run into Optimus Prime and Bumblebee.
Yeah, I know.
Pretty cool picture.
That was great.
How about this next one?
Oh, this is a cool one. This is the first time that we've ever done a White Hatter presentation, and there was popcorn available.
Yeah, when we do presentations, we primarily do parents and students, but this one was a Pro D day for educators, right? Where we spent the whole day talking about educators about social media safety and all those types of things, specifically designed to educators.
This was in Fort Nelson, by the way.
It was, and they rented the movie hall. This is the only movie hall in where we were, right? Like it's small, but it was really well outfitted with all the audio visual stuff. So as we walk into this place to do our presentation, they had all these bags of popcorn, as you can see here, and we're going, "Oh, is that for a movie tonight?" And they go, "No, this is what teachers are going to get." As they walk in, I said, "What? The teachers are going to get popcorn as they watch us?" Like Brandon and I love popcorn. Like we really do, right? And we're going, "No way," right? Yeah, way. So every teacher that attended, and the place was packed, right? That's only a small
and soda.
Yeah. Like that's only a small number. Like there was a ton of other bags there. So not only did they get big bags of popcorn, but they also had a soda if they wanted. So as they're watching us, they're eating popcorn, eating soda. It was great. It was like we're movie stars.
I know. It was the first time that's ever happened. I thought that was fantastic.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I'll be honest, it made me hungry though. Like here we are, we're and all we can smell is fresh buttered popcorn.
Now, see, Darren was facilitating this session. I was in the back eating some popcorn.
Were you?
Yeah, I was. That's my hand right there.
Oh,
yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, it was great.
Oh, that's right. Because I remember you eating it, going, "I hate you." Like it was unbelievable. But they did save a bag for me at the end, so I did get a bag on the way out. But kind of a cool thing that happened there. And the next one. What's the next one here?
Pink Shirt Day.
Yeah.
So this was during the Fort Nelson trip.
Yep.
And it just happened to be on Pink Shirt Day.
It was.
And there's us right there, all in our pink ties.
Yeah.
I have a pink shirt.
Yeah.
And a pink tie. And
I was wearing pink socks here too.
Was that the next picture?
I don't know. Was it?
No, it's not.
No. Yeah, I had a pink tie on. I had pink socks on too.
I had pink socks too. I remember that.
Did you? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember we got pink socks and that kind of stuff. Kind of a cool way to celebrate Anti-Bullying Day. Not just in British Columbia, but right across Canada, right? Yeah. So kind of a cool picture for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
This picture.
Bonjour! Bonjour!
That is Hervé, and he is one of the White Hatter presenters, and he teaches programs in French.
Yes, he's from Quebec. Yeah. So he works with a local law enforcement agency here in Victoria, and his primary role is IT infrastructure. So he's a specialist in the area of IT infrastructure and security, and he works with us in a company, and he teaches our programs at the elementary middle school in French.
Yeah.
And he is also doing a lot of our graphic work now, because this Hervé is like very skilled when it comes to artistics and stuff. So a lot of the infographics we're now using on our website
comes from him.
Comes from him, right?
Yeah.
And in our articles that we're writing. So bonjour, hooray, bonjour. All right, and his son is just unbelievable when it comes to programming. His son is 14, and he's known as Citrine Animations on Twitter, and we have kind of highlighted his work over the past couple of weeks on what he's doing with Lego modeling. This kid could create his own Lego movie.
Oh, yeah.
Like, unbelievable. And Hervé was actually saying, his dad was saying that he's actually getting calls now from bigger organizations saying, hey, kid, as you get a little bit older, you're looking for a job. I mean, he's setting himself up, right? He's coding Python big time, and this is a good segue to say, hey, you know, by the time you guys see this video, we will have run our first coding academy, which is this Saturday, which would be yesterday for those of you who are watching today, right? So, so big shout out to Hervé. Right?
Yeah,
for sure.
That's
big
great.
shout out. Big shout out.
Speaking of more members of the team,
yes,
we've grown in the last year.
We have.
Yeah,
we're getting busy, and so as a result of that, we're growing, and we're looking for skilled people who have the same passion as we do. Hervé has that passion, and so does Cal. And this is a really good picture of Cal.
Yeah, this is one of Cal's presentations. He was teaching the leveraging program.
Yes.
So teaching students, high schoolers, how to use social media in a way that can benefit them for jobs of the future, scholarships, all that stuff. And he's having a blast doing this. And he's actually going to be teaching some of the safety programs now in the new year.
And he's a sharp dresser. Look at that, man. Look at him, right?
He's wearing the white hat.
If I could grow a goatee, I think him and I could be brothers. When you think about it, right? Yeah. His background, he's a retired sergeant with the Delta Police Department, right? So he brings 30 years of policing to the table. He was with the Vancouver Police Department before he joined Delta, but he has a real passion in working with kids. And he reached out to us. You know, we never reached out to him. He actually reached out to us saying that he was interested. And those are the types of people that we're looking for, right? So he's really taken off with the leveraging program. And this fall, he's got a number of programs booked, and he's probably going to be a lot busier. And like Brandon said, he's now also going to be teaching our elementary and our middle school safety program, as well as the parent safety program for middle schools and elementary schools.
I'm sure a year from now, we'll look back here at the studio, a year from now going, yep, all the programs that he's done.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. What's the next one we got?
This is great. Like, again, we see some fantastic places.
Yes, we do.
And this was at Crow's Nest High School.
Yes.
That we went to, and on the way there, we drove by this massive rock slide.
It is the largest rock slide in Canada, Canadian history.
So we stopped and we read all of the information pamphlets and plaques, and we actually stopped and actually had some time. We actually did a little documentary, kind of.
Get to travel internationally, and as we're doing that, we love to stop in and see historic sites. And presently, we're in Crow's Nest Pass in Alberta, and we're at a site where the largest and deadliest rock slide in Canadian history happened here in Frank Mountain.
Impressive.
As you see, where half of the mountain,
like half a mountain,
broke free, slid down, and covered the town of Frank. And it is unbelievable. There were over 600 people in the town at the time, and they were unable to locate 100 of them that are still buried.
Like there's an entire town.
It's just unbelievable.
Buried under that rock
in the
slide.
morning, how 82 million tons of rock from that mountain came down and covered and buried the entire city. So just unbelievable to see what happened. Very impressive. And we were very honored to be here to see this historic site in our country. So from the White Hatter team, from Alberta, heading back to Victoria today for
heading back to the great city of Victoria
across our country.
You know,
we'll talk to you later.
It's amazing when we are traveling more and how we're starting to see more and more of our great country. Right? And places that we would never have seen if it wasn't for the White Hatter, right? And doing what it is that we do with the White Hatter, and not just in Canada, but now throughout the United States, right? I've been traveling down there quite a bit, and you are now going to be traveling down there quite soon. But I mean, the ability and the opportunities that the White Hatter Company and what we do as a White Hatter team to allow us to see our country and all the important things in our country and all the really cool places that we would never have seen as a result of doing what it is that we do.
Yeah.
I mean, like I say multiple times in that video, it was just an unbelievable sight. It really was.
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah, the things we see.
Yeah, for sure. What's the next one? Oh, this one's kind of fun.
This
There's a little
one-
bit of a story to this one,
This
right?
one, so
This is at what, Quench Elementary?
yes. And this is a funny story. So again, schools have all these wonderful murals. This is a funny story. They had all these images of like gladiators, and there's this one swinging on a rope. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to swing on the rope with this. It's not an actual rope. It's a
The one on the left there, right?
Yeah, on the left.
Yeah.
And then the one on the right.
You actually slipped.
I actually happened to catch this while the camera was taking the picture, and that is me actually falling.
Now, did you fall backwards onto that blue mat?
Thankfully, yes. Thankfully, there was a blue mat, like a landing mat.
So this wasn't a setup.
No, it wasn't set up. No. Well, I was trying to take pictures of me like in the air,
Right.
swinging
Right.
with this gladiator.
Right.
But I don't know what happened. But
What happened was a Brandon happened.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest. Like, that's pretty funny, right? So you ended up flat on your butt
yeah. Well, on the mat.
on the mat.
So
Oh, good thing.
It was cushy.
Was this before or after the presentation?
Before.
Oh, good thing the map was there, right? Because who knows if you would have made it to the presentation,
Yeah.
right?
So, anyways,
You didn't damage your camera?
no.
Or they need
The camera's on a tripod.
Oh, but what's that? Oh, that's your phone in the hand, so you didn't damage the phone
No.
either, right? Ah, pretty funny picture. Pretty funny picture.
Anyways.
And then also this year, I think we've been to social media camp now for how many years in a row now? Like lots.
We've been to social media camp probably 7 years in
Yeah,
total.
6 or 7 years,
Yeah.
right? And every year we presented, and this year you were there solely by yourself presenting,
Yeah,
right?
it was the social media camp. Social media camp is one of Canada's largest social media conferences, and it's hosted every year in Victoria, BC. And I'm a usual speaker there. And it was a 10-year anniversary.
Yeah.
And I had a wonderful time.
And what did you speak about at the conference there?
I talked about how to use advanced searching functions.
Gotcha.
So how to use the internet to provide more information for businesses.
And you've got skill in that area, right? Because you're a certified open source intelligence investigator, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, you've got training in that area and especially in that area. So, yeah, you shot a couple of other, couple really cool things going on at social media camp.
Yeah.
That we decided to do
Every
too,
year,
right?
social media camp, they have this used Victoria or used.ca. It's a
Yeah.
website, and they sponsor. It's actually in the top corner of this banner.
Yeah.
And they bring in every year old retro things. And on the picture to the left here is an old retro Atari.
Yeah, that's like Space Invaders.
Yeah,
I think
it
that
was.
game's
Yeah,
called,
it
right?
was.
See, I remembered it because that's the video games of my era.
Yeah.
Right. So Space Invaders. So you were playing Space Invaders?
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of cool. And what's the one on the right there where you're making the funny face again? You and your faces.
I know, right?
You got some good faces.
All the presenters at social media camp, they got this this like portrait printout that's pixelated. You can't see, but it's actually pixelated.
Yeah, it looks like a black and white picture.
Yeah, I
from
know.
this
It's
distance.
actually pixelated, and
Really?
yeah, and it was kind of cool. It's like, what? Who's this? Anyways, I thought
Pretty cool.
I thought it was kind of funny.
Pretty cool. And then we ended up going back to Saskatchewan again there.
We
right?
did,
We
yes.
did. And we ended up staying on a family farm, the Schaefer farm.
Yes.
What an experience that was.
Yeah, it was a huge farm.
Huge.
Massive.
Like, what did they say it was? Like 800 acres or something like that?
It was something crazy.
It was unbelievable. And the family, the Schaefer family, they kind of arranged us to do a bunch of schools in their area. And they have this... basically a house on their property. It's a guest house, right? And so they said, hey, rather than staying at a hotel and that kind of stuff, why don't you come and live with us here on the farm for a couple of days? And we got a guest house that's fully outfitted.
Yeah.
So Brent and I went, let's do it, right? So we ended up staying on the Schaefer farm. And, the family was just, it gave us such insight into what farming is really like. Like here in Victoria, we got some farms in the area. You drive around, you see some farms, but no, they're not farms. They're like little plots compared to what we saw here, right? And, what the Schaefers did is they kind of gave us a tour of their farm and what it is that they do as a family. And some of the equipment that they have, like
we got a tour.
we did. And one of the things that we saw was one of these big tractors that they use. Like this thing here is like $250,000.
Yeah.
Like it's and they have like 5 of them.
Yeah.
And then I just look at the size of that. And I mean, I don't think we got some pictures, but we're not adding it into these slides. But they gave Brandon the opportunity to sit in the thing. Thank God they didn't give him the opportunity to drive it, right? Thank God.
The wheels are bigger than us.
I know. I mean, we're standing at a distance right there, right? So, did anybody ever tell you that you're tall?
Yeah.
Like you're taller than me.
Yeah.
Well, how tall are you?
6'2".
I'm 5'10". Where did you get your height from?
I don't know.
I know, because Mom's small too. Things can make you go, But I mean, just what the Schaefer family does, and the amount of time that they put into what it is that they do as farmers should be recognized more by Canadians, right? Like it's just something else. It really was on their farm and what they do. The time they get up at the crack of dawn, they don't end until like 9 o'clock at night. They bring lunches and dinners out to the farmers in the fields, so they actually eat their dinners out in the fields, and 5, 6, 7 o'clock at night and stuff. It's just, well, it truly gave us a better appreciation of what it is that farmers do in our country, and I think more people should visit farms like this and see what these families do for us as Canadians, right? Just a big shout out to the Schaefer family.
Oh, yeah.
Big shout out for that happening.
Yeah.
This next picture, you and your faces, right?
Yeah.
You and your faces. What's this one all about?
This was on my trip to Central Elementary, and I was getting a bite to eat.
Okay.
And I was in this mall complex, and I drove by an abandoned sort of leasing space, and something caught my attention.
What caught your attention?
Do you see what's above my finger?
A building.
What sign is missing from there? Do you see the old sign?
Oh, yeah. Blockbuster.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like a shadow.
Yeah, it's a shadow from the yellow.
For those young
letters.
people who are watching right now who don't know what Blockbusters is, what's Blockbusters?
Where you would physically rent movies or DVDs.
Yeah, I know. It used to be a huge international chain, right? As soon as VCRs became popular and you could rent movies, and then it moved into DVDs. These are the stores that you would go to.
Yeah.
Big people, invested because everybody thought that was the way things were going to go, and then guess what?
They couldn't fight against the wave of the internet.
Yeah, and the digital,
Netflix
right,
and all that stuff. Yeah.
So as a result of that, these Blockbuster stores closed. I mean, you'll find smaller stores every so often in towns that we go to and stuff, but the big chains like this, like how can you compete against Netflix or Apple TV, or even, we use Shaw Cable here, and you can, rent videos right off of your cable network, right? So kind of a cool picture. What's more cool is the faces that you make. Like you have this ability to contort yourself, right? Yeah, I know, just like you're doing right now. I get it. So, but kind of a cool picture.
Yeah.
What's the next one? I think this is Cal again.
Yeah, Cal is getting busier in the White Hatter, and this was his trip to Point Grey.
Yeah, it's in Vancouver.
Secondary.
Yeah, Vancouver.
Again, where he was teaching the leveraging program, and he had a blast.
He did. This is, I think, his second leveraging program that he did.
Yeah.
And poor guy, he had some technical difficulties with some of his equipment, but he worked through it. Yeah. He worked through it, made it work, and did a really good job. The feedback we got from Point Grey was that he was a star, and that the kids and the students really, really loved him. And again, love his duds, right? Look at that, man. Look at him. The white hat, the vest, the shirt, sharp dressed man. Again, if I could grow a goatee, I can't. I've tried. But if I could, and I stood beside him with my gear on, you could swear we were brothers. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. Next one.
Here in the studio.
Yes, the studio.
We've been really doing a lot more virtual training now.
We have.
Where we can essentially present White Hatter safety or leveraging programs to schools and classrooms anywhere in the world through video conferencing.
Yeah.
And
you've done a couple of them.
Done a couple of them, and we're having a lot of fun doing it. We're using the set here, and we can do the exact same thing that we do when we travel to schools.
And I love the set, right? It took us a while to get where we are, but the amount of bling on there. One of the things that I'm most proud of is the top level, right? With all the bling that schools give us when we go and teach and stuff. And then we've also surrounded ourselves with other things. I mean, like from my policing background in the right, or white hat, to Trolga. I mean, it's just amazing what goes on here. And, a lot of that credit goes to Candace, right? Our social media coordinator and your partner.
Yep.
And she does a lot of work kind of changing the scene up. What's kind of funny is every time we do a live broadcast, there's one or two little things that are different on the scene just to change things up. But I really love our background, and it's who we are, right? It's who we are. And there's some old stuff in there. Like, what's that square thing right here, Brandon? What's that?
The GameCube.
What's that?
GameCube.
GameCube, right? What? Yeah. It's, again, some of the people may not know what is that.
Yeah, it's an old gaming console, Nintendo, virtually indestructible.
Show them some of the phones, the old phones that we got here.
My first phone?
Yeah, what was your first phone?
This one here.
Yeah.
The Samsung phone.
Look at that. Way. And I think it flipped around too, right? Way. Yeah, it kind of flipped. Like, it was precursors to the smartphones, the iPhones, and that's kind of what they called the smartphones back when they first came out and stuff. So we got a bunch of old stuff there as well. It's kind of cool. What a lot of people don't see, show them the knight in shining armor.
The knight in shining armor.
Can you show them that one?
Yeah, this was.
A lot of you don't see this on the set. We do every time we go on the set, right? And
we got this guy this year.
Check this out. Look at this guy. Is that great? Yeah. And who found that again? That was Candace. Right? Candace found it. Yeah. I mean, she can find all these really cool trinkets and trinkets and stuff, and that was a really cool one. So he kind of stands guard of our set, right? He stands off to the side and he's guarding our set.
It's a little too tall to fit in one of the cubbyholes here.
But if Brandon gets out of hand, it kind of goes over and pokes him every so often, right? So kind of a cool set, kind of a cool picture. Yeah, really kind of cool. This next one I loved. I mean, of all the pictures that you've taken, this was one of my favorites.
This was my trip to Port Alberni.
Yes, cool place.
To Ecole Alberni Elementary, and I had an afternoon to myself, so I was kind of exploring.
Recipe for disaster already. Trust me, people. When Brandon has time to himself, the creative juices in him starts to bubble. Is the best way to describe it.
I was walking around the harbor and the waterfront, and I came across this sculpture of an eagle.
Yes, and it actually looks like the eagle has grabbed you and is going to fly away with you.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like a really, really cool picture. And in fact, when you posted it on Instagram, a number of our followers, the teens, said, that's a really cool picture. Now, how many shots did it take you to do that?
Far too many.
Really?
I don't know how, me being interested in photography, I like to take a lot of pictures. So, I mean, there were a lot of pictures, but this was the best.
It's too bad you can't get the wings on that to kind of do this through special effects or something like that, because that's just like, holy moly. It actually looks like a griffin, right? From the when you think of old movies and, back in the days of, Apollo and the Greek gods and all that kind of stuff. That kind of looks like a griffin, right? The flying griffin that's about to pick you up and fly away with you. But it's the carving of an eagle, right?
Yep.
Yeah, pretty cool picture. Picture. Yeah. The other thing we do as a company as well is every single year we like to recognize students who are going to be moving out of high school into post-secondary, college, university, or even a trade school, where they're moving on in the area of technology, computer, IT infrastructure, something to do with technology, right? And this year was our second year of giving a scholarship. And this year's scholarship went to Mateo, right? He wrote a really cool article that you can read on our website right now. And what was that article on again? Do you remember what it was?
The prompt this year was, how can you leverage social media to benefit you in your job, your future, your education? Yeah. And so we had submissions, and they wrote really captivating, interesting, and evidence-based article. And so because of that, they got our scholarship this year.
Yeah, and Mateo's on his way to Simon Fraser University in the area of computer science and technology. So that's what he's going to be specializing in, which is really cool. And the essay that he wrote was well-deserving. Just a talented young man who's got a very bright future ahead of him for sure in the area of computer technology. In fact, he hinted to us that he wouldn't mind being a white hatter one day, which is kind of cool, right? Maybe we'll grow to the point where I've moved on and you're still running the company, where maybe he's going to come knocking on your door looking for a job. Who knows, right? Who knows? We're always looking for talent.
Yeah.
We're always looking for talent.
So that was kind of a quick kind of recap over last year.
Yeah, now that you got your new camera and that kind of stuff, I have a feeling that we're going to have a ton more pictures.
Yeah, we're taking more photos, more videos,
Yeah.
so I'm sure this time next year we'll have double the amount of things to recap. And again, we're traveling more places.
Yep.
So we'll get to see more fascinating, amazing things, meeting new, amazing people.
Yep.
So, yeah, again, it's a wonderful what we get to do and the things we see.
And we love being able to share what it is that we see and do with others, right? We post, well, all these pictures were posted on your Instagram, on our Instagram page, right? And sometimes
Facebook, Twitter as well,
and stuff. But this is a really good way to kind of catalog at the end of the year as to what it is that we did the previous school year. So maybe next year, maybe we can get some pictures of teachers and parents, and you know, we've been to a couple schools now where they have dogs, therapy dogs.
Yes.
Right. We've had a couple of pictures of those, and we should have put those in. You just never think about these things because we have so many of them, right? So.
Yeah, I mean, we're starting more to be more capturing what it is we do,
For sure.
And recording it. So again, as we think about that more in the future, we'll have more to recap.
For sure. Great recorded presentation for the first time. I mean, this is the first time. Again, most of our Sunday shows were going to be live, right? But because Brandon and I are having to travel today, as you're watching this, heading down to Washington State, we thought, let's do a pre-record, and that's what this is. And it was our first one. I thought, hey, listen, it's kind of a good one that we did this time. So, on behalf of myself, who's Darren,
and Brandon, and Candace, our social media coordinator, who will be messaging and contacting all of you who reach out to us. Thank you, and
have a great rest of the week. And don't forget to tune in next Sunday at 11 a.m. in the morning, where we will be live. We'll be live, right? So again, have a great rest of the day. See you later.